So I'm going to start with this. Who knows the name of this spaceship? Millennium Falcon. I hope everybody knows the name of this spaceship. This is Han Solo's spaceship from Star Wars, right? And it's super fast. It does the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, which apparently is fast. Now, as in most sci-fi stories, when the Millennium Falcon goes fast, they call it making the jump to light speed, right? Han Solo says, punch it, Chewie, and he hits a lever, and it looks like this. The stars are like whizzing by. And this happens in like every sci-fi movie, every show. Light speed, warp speed. I'm pretty sure what they're talking about here is traveling at the speed of light. Does anybody know how fast the speed of light is? Miles per hour. Anybody want to guess? You definitely, that's sort of not close, but also sort of close. I think you must have known the right answer at some point, but you forgot a bunch of the zeros. So 670,000 is close. It's 670 million. 670 million miles per hour. So that's how fast Han Solo and Chewie are traveling. So here's my next question to all of you with a show of hands. Thinking about the future, thinking about the evolution of what humankind can create, what we can invent, what we've built already and what we will build in the future. Who thinks one day humans may develop technology that allows us to travel at the speed of light? Who thinks that's possible? 1, 2, okay, 15, 20, I see pretty many hands. Okay, cool. Now, as is the law, if you talk about Star Wars, you have to talk about Star Trek. You don't want any Trekkies out there coming to get me. I already met a guy in the back running our tech here who was very passionate about Star Wars, so I'm assuming there's some Star Trek people out there. I got a threat when he saw my slides. He said, you're not going to make fun of Star Wars, are you? So I'm not, I didn't. Star Wars is great. But let's talk about Star Trek 2, to be fair. The great technology from Star Trek, right, are these teleporters, these transporters. You stand on a platform. I don't even know how this one works. It like zaps you with lasers. I'm pretty sure it takes apart your molecules and stuff, and it like beams them over the airwaves, and suddenly you appear on a different spaceship or a different planet. Who thinks one day we could actually invent something that sends humans, or at least objects, almost instantly over space, a teleporter? Who thinks that could be possible? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, still about 10 hands. Still pretty good. Okay, one more. One of my favorite movies of all time. Back to the Future. This is the DeLorean, the famous DeLorean that Doc Brown turned into a time machine. You drive at 88 miles per hour. You get 1.21 gigawatts of electricity through your flux capacitor, and poof, you're 30 years in the past or you're 50 years in the future. Who thinks one day we will crack this equation? One day we will figure out how to invent literal time machines? Anybody? 1, 2, 3. This is usually where I get the least hands. I'm still getting like 5 hands in a room full of, 100 people. Okay, that's our grounding. That's our future. That's what we think is possible. A handful of us think all 3 of these things are possible. Now let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the technology we have today. Who uses TikTok? Okay, a quarter of the room. I love the digital world. I talk about it nonstop, but I haven't really got into TikTok. My understanding is just weirdos dancing. Am I getting that right, TikTokers? It's just weirdos dancing? Okay, well, about 1 billion people have TikTok now, right? This is our technology of the day. Now, instead of thinking about what's possible in the future, let's think about the past. Let's go 70 years in the past. Let's go back to the 50s. And imagine there was a conference like this, as there very well could have been, right? A conference of trainers in the hospitality industry. And someone not dissimilar from me gets on stage and says, I want to talk to you all about innovation. But instead of describing Star Wars or Star Trek, they say, okay, I want you to imagine this. I've got this thing I can hold in my hand, the size of my hand, that I can aim at myself, and it'll capture my exact likeness. It'll record it as a video of sorts, including the audio. And I can actually bring in songs and music from other places, and I can instantaneously share that image, that video, that recording in perfect quality with people as far away as China and Africa and Europe. And I could see any video that they created instantly. In fact, I could go online, which would be a whole other explanation, and see millions of videos from millions of people, all from this thing that could fit in the size of my hand. And they asked that question, and they said, raise your hand if you think that's possible. How many people in that room do you think raised their hand? Because I think it's 0. I think 0 people in that room would even think that's possible. And that means stuff that is as crazy as time travel and 670 miles per hour speed of light travel is more realistic to us today than something as ubiquitous as a smartphone app was just 70 years ago. Just 70 years ago.